and I suppose Roy's fear, don't want to misquote him, but was that if Cavani does get a new contract, does that mean that Manchester United won't go into the market again for a real marquee signing at centre-forward?
I remember Roy's comments in the game against Liverpool, the postponed game, where he said that he wanted Cavani to sign, but not at the expense of United signing what would be a world-class striker. I think if you look at the policy over the last couple of years since Ollie's come in of Manchester United, I don't think they will sign another striker. And I haven't got the context on the inside that I used to have, so it's my assumption, because they're desperate. They've been desperate for Sancho. So you look at Manchester United's recruitment last summer, they didn't get Sancho, and they were criticised for that, and I criticised them for that. But they could look incredibly smart this year if they get him near at half the price, and they've waited 12 months. So if they can get Sancho, if you look at these players that are on this graphic now and think about next season, let's throw it forward. I think Juan Mata has done fantastically well for the club, but I think he'll leave. I think they can get good money for Daniel James, but again, I think he maybe could go somewhere else and they could get good money for him. There's a feeling that Jesse Lingard done really well at West Ham, but I think that Ollie will say no. I think you go and explore and go elsewhere, and we'll get money for Jesse Lingard. Van der Beek's got to stay, I think, just has to, in my opinion. And then you look at the rest of them. So you've got Rashford, Fernandes, Greenwood, Pogba, Martial, Van der Beek, and you've got Cavani at the top. If Manchester United were to sign a Harry Kane and a Sancho as an example, then will Cavani play? Will Greenwood emerge? Will he have the growth that Manchester United will want from him? Where will that leave Rashford? Where does Pogba fit in if you want to play two defensive midfield players like Ollie does, with Fernandes in front, because Fernandes is a guaranteed? So I'm just looking at it now and I'm thinking, I think Sancho comes in, and I think you've got Sancho that obviously will play on that right-hand side. You've potentially got the backup of Greenwood on that side. You've got up front, you've got Cavani and Greenwood, and they'll want Greenwood to come through because I think he's outstanding. On the left, you've got Rashford and Martial, and then you've got Pogba potentially could fit into there if he's not in midfield. If you sign Kane or Haaland as well, which is what's being mooted, I don't think that basically works for Manchester United the way in which they've recruited in the last few years. Allowing young players to emerge like Greenwood, making sure Rashford plays, Van der Beek can't get a game. I think it's Sancho, and I think that's their business done.
Gary has said repeatedly that next year has to be a title challenge for Manchester United. Do you think with those options, maybe with Sancho as well, would give United enough to do that?
I don't think they'd have the centre forward, and I absolutely love Cavani. And I've said consistently now, I think Manchester United need a 25-year-old Cavani. There's a lot of talk of Cavani today because he's signed. The big thing for me is Greenwood. I think he's a superstar. Now, in terms of bringing Sancho in, if you bring him in, he's got to play probably 70-80% of the games on the right-hand side, normally where he plays. I just don't think Mason Greenwood is ready yet to almost have him and Cavani as the centre forward. So you almost got a really old guy who's done brilliantly, or a really young guy who's maybe not ready physically to lead the line for United. And I think Greenwood started 19 games this season. That next season, the actual progression is to go to 30, 35 starts. I think Manchester United actually buying a Harry Kane or a Haaland and actually using Greenwood from the right, coming inside on that left foot. I think he's brilliant at that, I really do. I think physically it helps him because he's not straight down the middle, holding the ball up with his back to play. And I'd just be really wary for Manchester United if they brought Sancho in, would that stunt the growth of Mason Green? Because I'm not quite sure at his age to play centre forward consistently.
Do you think they're going to go Greenwood right and bring a striker in?
If it was me...
If Kane comes in or Haaland, when's Cavani going to play?
Cavani's not going to play every game for United.
I know, but he'll want to play at least 30 games. He's not stayed for another year on a basis that he's off 10 games.
But I agree. I think the fact Cavani's signed means they're probably going to go down the route that you're talking about. Cavani stays, he's probably wanting to know who's coming in next season. But if you're talking about me, I think Manchester United need a centre forward more than need the right side. And I think of Greenwood a lot. And I'm not quite sure of Greenwood playing centre forward right now. In 3 or 4 years' time, when he physically, a lot bigger and a lot stronger, yeah. But I think he's doing enough from that right side, getting enough goals now. I think could Sancho come in and maybe play better or get more crosses in? But could he get more goals than Greenwood from that position? I'm not quite sure.
I think if you look at the goals in Cavani, Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, Sancho, Fernandes, Pogba, as a sort of what would be a group of players, there is a massive amount of goals and assists in there. I know what you're saying. They haven't got that little bit one outstanding one, but neither do City in some ways have that one outstanding striker. I just think United, in that pack of players I've just named, they've got unbelievable options in terms of goals and assists. I think that also the cohesion of the squad, the fact that how much will they have to pay for Kane and Haaland? They can get Sancho. They believe in Greenwood immensely. And you think about United, they've gone back to the principles of believing in their youth. I think an experienced player with Greenwood emerging as the man, because I think they think he is the man, but he probably needs another 12 to 18 months of growth. I think Cavani for a year is to allow Greenwood to grow. I think he becomes the second centre forward next season.